this is Cindy Leach, your polymer clay tutor, and today's studio tip is how to use a rock polisher for polishing polymer clay beads. Now, I've done a tutorial in the past on polishing polymer clay beads in a tumbler, but I've got a new substrate, so I want to talk to you about that. Now, any of you that have made small little round polymer clay beads, you know what a big pain in the butt it is to have to sand and polish them. They're little, especially if they're anything smaller than these ones here, and they're round, so they're not that easy to deal with. A rock polisher is a really great way to get around the issue of having to polish and sand each little tiny bead. The way you can do that is, the way we used to do it, in a previous tutorial I talked about using river rock as a substrate to put inside your rock polisher to polish the beads. We used the kind that you would get, the unpolished decorative stone that was in a floral department, say like at Michael's, or sometimes you could find them at the dollar store. But I found a product that works even better than the river rock, and I picked this up at a place called Odofray or Odofray. I've been getting a few things there lately, and they're a place online that has products that are good for jewelry makers and things. They have a lot of high-end equipment, but these little, they're made of some sort of plastic, and they're a little pyramid shape. They're unique. They're a little bit rough. Like, I've got them in coarse, medium, and fine, and each grit is a different color, but they have kind of a rough surface on them and a unique shape. They've got a bit of a cupped shape on the bottom side of each of these little pyramids that works really nicely against the surface of a round bead as it's tumbling around in the tumbler. And then it's got all these sort of other edges, a little pointy edge as well, and that really helps to kind of get into the crevices as it's tumbling into the tumbler. And the way you use something like this is it comes in I believe this is a 1 pound bag, and it was about $8.50 when I bought it. And what you do is you just take the substrate and you dump it into your rock tumbler, the whole pound. Then you put in your beads, and you put in some water and some soap, and then you just fill it up until it's just a little bit above, or around the top of your beads and substrate. Then you put it in your rock tumbler, seal it all up, and turn it on and let it tumble for, I'm now doing it for about a full day. I find that gives it enough time to tumble around in there and work through each of the grits. Then I dump it out, rinse it, pull my beads out, and move to the next grit. And in this case it's the medium grit, and it's a dark green little pyramid shape. And then they also carry a fine grit, which is a lighter green. And then as a final, and each one of these I do for about a day. And then on the last one, what I do is I use this they're called porcelain balls, and they're just what they say they are. They're little balls made of porcelain, and when your beads tumble around in there, they give it a light buffing. They work really well. These beads here were all put through the tumbler, so I didn't do any sanding or anything on them, and they give a fairly nice sheen. You can add a little added buff to them by using a power buffer like my Jewel tool or something along that lines, or your Dremel. But they do a pretty nice job of doing that without all the work. Now, you're not going to remove something like fingerprints with the rock tumbler. It's just that's just too much material for it to remove. So make sure that before you put the beads in there, obviously they're baked. You can't put an unbaked bead in, otherwise it'll be pulverized. But make sure they're as perfect as you can get them before you bake them, and then when you buff them, you'll get, or when you put them through the tumbler, you'll get a nice finish. But they you can put dimensional type beads in there too, as long as they can handle being tumbled around and sloshed around. So you'll just have to experiment. Always do a few test ones first to see how they fare in the tumbler. But I think you're going to really enjoy the lack of effort it takes to do a whole great big amount. I would do a lot more than this, maybe 50 or even, I don't know, up to 100 depending on the size in there at the same time. You want to have enough room in the top that it still has room to tumble around. You don't want to pack it tightly, otherwise it's not going to move and get that jostling thing going on. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed that you can pick up some of this substrate for your rock tumbler if you have one. And I've got an older version of the, which one is this? It's a Lortone tumbler. I think they're now blue. This has been going for years and years, since Doug was a little kid actually. It was his when he was a kid. So polish up your beads. That's a great way of doing it. And if this was helpful for you, make sure to press that like button. That would be great. And my question for you is, would you like to use a rock tumbler for your round polymer clay beads, or do you have another method that you prefer? Leave that in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. We will see you at another time. Bye for now.